Give it up for Josh Johnson.
This weekend, wow, it is for everybody. I imagine this weekend was weird. It was weird because for like half a day, we did think half a day. That's so long. Half of a day. It's a very long time to think the president. And then, you know, we found out, oh, that wasn't the case. And they posted, you know, the news reports came out. They were like, the president's been found golfing in Virginia. It's like, don't say found like that. Found. Like a lost singer. Found. It's insane. Just say he was golfing in Virginia. Found in Virginia? It makes it sound like the White House didn't know. I'm pretty sure they drove him. Found. 12 hours is too long to think somebody's dead. My buddy lives with his grandpa. And every time he thinks his grandpa's dead, he finds out in about 5 minutes. His granddad does that sleep you only do when you old. You know that sleep where you like... Like, I don't know why, but like, it seems like after 70, people just sleep with a little bit too much neck. You know what I mean? Like, his granddad can't just go to sleep. He always hit the... Like, that's a very dead way to lay. That's how Talia died at the end of Dark Knight Rises. She like... The neck crank is a surefire way for somebody to put a spoon in front of your nose to see if you're still kicking. He does it a lot, apparently, you know, because his granddaddy sleeps pretty deep. And there's that whole thing about sleep being the cousin of death, and I think it's his granddaddy's half-brother, because not even a snore, not even a you know what I mean? He said he always thinks his grandpa gone when he take a nap because the way he falls asleep, which, to be fair to my friend, this is... I've never seen this in anyone else in my entire life. But he said his granddad will go take a nap. He'll announce it too, like, I lay down. And then he goes to lay down, whether it's on the couch or it's in his room, and lays his head back. And he said the way his granddaddy falls asleep is he takes a deep breath. That's a great way to look dead. This man goes to take a nap, lays on the couch and goes... Now, to be fair to his granddaddy, every time he wakes up, he does finish the breath. Said his granddad never wake up peaceful. He always wake up. But even then, he's never wondered if his granddaddy was gone for 12 hours. 12 hours. Jeez. And we thought that because Trump doesn't look good. You know what I mean? He just finally looked like he act like. You know what I mean? Like if somebody listed everything a person did next to everything that they ingested, you'd be like, that's not a person who's well. And finally, he doesn't, he just doesn't look like he's doing great. I didn't even know the term. He had some venous thing. Turns out that venous thing was his ankles. His ankles, I don't know if you've seen them. World leaders have seen them. World leaders have had to sit there and not look. In case you're not familiar, look, Trump's ankles are... No, his ankles just sitting there looking, caked up. Like... I mean, he got some thickums under those socks. Trump's ankles have quite a bit of booty. I can't imagine what that must be like to be an aide in the White House and walking next to the president, taking orders from the president of the United States, but all you can hear is his ankles clapping. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, it is. It's like his ankles and then his hand. That hand. His hand is black. Like it's just... Imagine being Donald Trump and turning black. No one's more upset than him. No, that's bad. That is tough. He's over here trying to live, and if you just don't have something on the schedule, people assume. It's funny too because I go back and forth with friends. I have friends that are sort of across the political spectrum. I have these friends who, whether they tell me or not, I know that they voted for Trump. At least one of them, pretty sure, voted for him 3 times. Every time he could, he did. And so we'll go back and forth all the time. We'll mostly be arguing all the time. And we argue about a bunch of things that aren't Trump as well. Like sometimes we'll just argue about like whole social issues, whole different policies and everything. And maybe it's because I've known him longer than Trump has been president that I feel like having those arguments is, to me, worth it. You know, I don't ask anybody else to do everything that I'm doing, but I think that there is something to get to the bottom of, and it's what we are gonna do when he's gone. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that right now it's easy to put everything that's happening and how we feel about each other on one person, because it's sort of the catalyst for all this stuff. But the groundwork was being laid long before he ever became president. And so whenever he's gone, you know, we're all gonna have to figure out a way to relate to each other. Because it's not as if all of the problems begin and end with him. You know, he's just one of them. But I don't know. No idea. It's maybe. We don't know. It could be any day now. It could be 200 more years. Truly, like my grandma was in the nursing home before she passed, and I would go visit her and everything. My grandfather as well, at different times they were in nursing homes, and when I go to visit them, you'd see people who had to be 3,000 years old. And it's like, I don't know, you know, you try to live a life that's full of love, and like you try to make memories and moments with family, with strangers. You want to have a full life. You want to have a life that you look back on and you're proud of the impact you had on people, you know? And along the way, try maybe, I don't know, eat right when you can, but enjoy yourselves, you know? And drink sometimes, not too often. Maybe party a little bit when you're younger and wean off of it as you get older, but do your best to have a really impactful life, even if you never become whatever it is, like rich, famous, popular. You're someone who, by being in other people's lives, their lives are richer. And same way that trees in the forest have roots that overlap, your life impacts other people's lives. You create ripple effects and create positive change in the world. And hopefully by doing all the right things, you have a good long life. Or you could be the devil and probably live way longer, like way longer. So many of those people in that nursing home were very mean. They were so mean. I was like, man, life must run off hate fuel. How are you this old and mad you're alive too? Be sitting there, none keeps you alive longer than sitting in a rocking chair and not rocking. Imagine, you gotta really be a bad person to sit in a rocking chair, have the joy of rocking and not even want it. My friend said, you know, he went through a similar thing. He would go to the nursing home, visit his grandparents and stuff, and he said every day there was this old dude in a rocking chair, not rocking, sitting there, arms crossed in the chair. Everybody walked by. People would say hello to him. Finally, he was like, you know what? I say hello to this man when I pass him, and we never really have a conversation. He doesn't speak to me, and I don't take it personally because you never know what people are going through. You know, some people, you might think they're being rude, but maybe they have something going on. Maybe they have dementia a little bit, or maybe they're in their own head about something, trying to remember something and doing something. So he said, I'm going to make a point the next time I go there to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Because that's the one thing he said he never saw anybody do. And so next time he went to visit his grandpa, on the way out, he walked up to him and he was like, "Hi, how you doing?" The man said, "I'm alive." And he's like, "Well, I hope you're having a good day." He's like, "Why would it be a good day?" And, "Well, you know, it's nice outside and everything, sun shining. You're in a rocking chair." And he was like, "I'm in a rocking chair. I don't like this rocking chair. I just sit in it so nobody else cares." It's easy to put everything in the way that we are now and all narratives and all discourse on just one person. It's easy to do that, especially when that person looks like they're driving all of it, right? But the ground was laid for this person long before they came into any sort of political picture. You know what I mean? Like for a long time, people have felt like there was nobody who was looking out for them. For a long time, people felt like it would take somebody who could not be bought by Washington or Wall Street's special interest money, or couldn't be twisted in whichever direction by lobbyists, or was looking out for people because they weren't motivated by money, and they weren't motivated by the promise of getting rich, and the thing that we came to believe as a country almost. You saw this way before Trump ever entered the political picture, is that if someone was at least independently wealthy, maybe they wouldn't be swayed by the money. You know what I mean? And there were those people across political spectrum that felt like there was no one looking out for them, that slowly everything that was their quality of life and everything that they earned was eroding away piece by piece, right? And that they just needed someone to step up who would stand in the way of all that and wouldn't be swayed by it. And unfortunately, that person never showed up. But and so I have these arguments with my friend, and there was one point where going back and forth for a while, because I felt like for everything that he said, I was saying something that was a reason why he shouldn't trust Trump on it, or why I didn't think it was something that was going to happen, you know? And finally he goes, "Well, you know, he's a businessman." And I had heard this before, and he said he's a businessman. And I was like, oh, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman, though. No, like he is a businessman. He is a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. You said he's a businessman, and he's a businessman. You told me he's a businessman. I've heard this before. He's a businessman. I'm just making sure that I understand what you're saying. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. So even you didn't say good businessman. You said, You said, as in he's one, as in, yes, he does business. It's a businessman. Yeah. He's a businessman. He is a businessman that bankrupted a casino. You know casinos. You know those things you don't generally leave money with. He bankrupted a casino. He's a businessman. He bankrupted a casino. A casino, though. He's a businessman. It's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. And look, I'm not a businessman. And I don't own a casino. In fact, whenever I go to a casino, I don't even gamble. I just do the show. I've done some shows at casinos. And then, I do the show, and then I go back to my room. I leave. I don't know the ins and outs of running a casino. I hardly know what it's like to really, enjoy yourself at a casino walking through and playing games and stuff. You know, I've walked with other people as they've wanted to gamble and stuff like that. I've been like awkwardly standing there, but I don't know what it takes to run a casino. And maybe this casino, look, maybe I'm throwing this out there as an olive branch. One of many I'll extend. Maybe this casino, this one, maybe had those slot machines that really give you credit for how hard you pull them. You know what I mean? You pull that slot machine as hard as you can, and the slot machine's like, okay, Daddy. Nah, I gotta get you a little something for that. No, I don't know, but he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Maybe I'm throwing it out there that at this casino they had, working for the casino, blackjack dealers that were as bad at blackjack as me. Maybe. The dealer, you'd be at his table, and he was like, you said hit? You sure? Okay. And you win again. All right, wonderful. I don't know. He probably knows because he's a businessman. Maybe this was one of the only casinos in all of America, maybe in all of the world, the only casino with clocks. Who knows? Maybe just over the poker table was a clock, and people are like, 9 already? I should go home. I've been here for quite a while. I don't know, but I'm sure he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. A businessman. And look, it's a casino. I can't think of a better... People come and drop off their money and leave. I can't think... I am not a businessman, but I can't think of a better business to make money. You can't even have casinos everywhere. But, you know, this is my thing. A part of me does understand how someone could think all we need to do is get a businessman in there to fix everything, because I think that America runs so much like a business, even in the parts that it shouldn't, that obviously we're going to think everything translates to business. You know? Like I didn't, this was where I was naive, I'll tell you right now. I thought that even if there was no national pride or community, or even if we couldn't find some sort of like camaraderie as Americans, we at least, at our very core, loved money enough. I thought we loved money more than anyone loved him. I thought as soon as somebody messed with the money, we would all come to our senses and be like, yo, not the money. That's the only thing holding this together. But then you see there are people whose lives have already been ruined. Because of his policies, you could lay all the blame at his feet, and they're like, I'll figure something else out. You'll figure some... You'll figure something else out. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Especially when, like, what? 12 months ago, you were screaming about eggs. And now your business is in shambles. And you're like, who can say? That felt insane. But also, I think that if you look at America as a business, it would make sense that you would want a businessman in there. But the thing is, you can't run the country the way you run a business. You know, a company, if they are in dire straits, could lay off half their work staff and then try to keep things going, use that to stay afloat. A company can buy back its own stocks in an effort to enrich itself as a company, make those stocks worth more. A company has a fiduciary responsibility to its shareholders. A company technically does more for its shareholders than the government does for its people. And so I could see how people would be like, oh, we'd at least like to get that. That'd be nice, some dividends or equity, something. We'd at least like to feel solvent. No. But it just doesn't work that way. And I don't think it should. I think that a business now is very different than a business before. Like there's a thing that happened, and maybe it's only like my frame of reference because of age and everything, but I think that something happened in 2008 that we haven't recovered from still, which is that, like, for the first time ever, companies that truly screwed up beyond measure, like actually beyond measure, like they should have crashed everything. This is the type of stuff that you read in the textbook and then they, hung everybody. Like that's... We don't realize it, but that's the level of like nasty that it got in 2008. If you had, knocked off a couple 100 years and put it in France, there would have been a guillotine. You know what I mean? And instead, there was a bailout, but instead of a bailout of the people, it was a bailout of the companies, because we believe in business so much. We believe that everything works like a business, to the point where even the politicians, naively, maybe some of them sincerely, were sure that if we keep the business afloat, it'll keep the people afloat, because then people won't lose their jobs, and then people will still be able to get these services, and people will still buy these products, right? And what ended up happening is that, so many people were foreclosed on, so many people lost their jobs anyway, people's like 401ks and retirements were destroyed, and then the people that they gave the bailout to sort of, trickle down the economics, something got stopped up right at the top. And so people who had wrecked the economy beyond measure got a bonus. They got a bonus for wrecking usually when you break something. And ever since then, it feels like business is about not being left holding the bag. That's what real business seems to be now, is that you do everything you can to extract as much value as possible, and then you dip before everything comes crashing down, whether you dip because you sell the company or you dip because, you decide to shutter it after you've like fired everyone and ruined it as a service and everything. Basically private equity, right? So I believe he's a businessman. I do, because I'm sure, look, if we're talking business, to his credit, I'm sure that he was not worse off for bankrupting that casino. I'm sure it was the people that worked at the casino. I'm sure he stiffed some of the contractors who helped build the casino, but I'm sure that he found a way to leverage that debt, because he loves debt. He found a way to leverage that debt into his next venture, and then he started selling steaks or whatever. I don't know. Like, it was just, it's been a lot of products. You know what else it is too is that you can't focus too much on this one person. It makes him more important than he really is. I understand that he's president. I understand he's one of the richest people in the world. But as far as importance, it's about what lasts. You know, this dude. No wonder we thought he was gone. He went on Fox News. No wonder we thought he was gone. Trump went on Fox News. Everybody forget this. Trump went on Fox News and just started randomly. No one asked him. Randomly talking about how he was trying to get into heaven. And it's like, then you know. One thing my buddy's granddaddy never does is talk about the afterlife. Gets up, watches his shows, takes his naps, gets up and eats, and repeats. If he was pontificating on heaven, I think people would just start assuming that every nap really was the last nap. No. It's because, you know, a man's hand. Guys, he's turning black. But I don't, look, I truly talk about Trump because he's in the news, but I don't really care about Trump. I care about people. What's going on with people? All of this is going to outlast this one person, you know? And even in California, you see in California, where there was one case, it seems contained and already treated and everything, but it is happening. One case of plague. You know plague. You know plague. Plague. Some would ask which plague. Apparently, the. You know plague from the producers of the Middle Ages. Plague. You know plague. Don't act like you don't know plague. You know plague. It's plague. The reason Europe's not bigger. Plague. You know plague. And no matter how much you may hate Trump, you gotta admit, this is some pretty bad luck. He 2 for 2 on presidential terms and plagues. That's crazy. That was wild. Yeah, first one a fluke. The second one, how did a plague skip Biden's era? Like that's. Plague. Because that's the fear, is that, like, yes, they found one case, they treated it, you know, they've even traced it back to a particular source, because it's really a climate change issue, because basically the fleas that carry plague are thriving right now in the warmer climate, and so then they're hopping on more rats, and then the rats might come in contact with people, right? And so there's always the fear, the possibility that it isn't just that one case, and it isn't just contained to California. There's a real fear and a possibility that plague could have spread to the president's hand. Like it's possible. Because what we did, and how do I put this? What we've done in the U.S. as far as presidents is not exactly like we're picking young ones. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, whatever that thing is, whether it's law, is military, or it's business, we seem to want you to have a wealth of experience in that field. Because there's going to be 3 branches of the government, and you may not be familiar with all of them. Even if you're a career politician, you may not know how to like wade perfectly through all of them. But, you know, if you have a lot of experience in one thing, that could win you the trust of the people. And we haven't had a young president in a long time. I mean, like, Kennedy was one, like, young ones, like a young guy being president. And we haven't really done that again. Like, you know, what we've done is we've let confidence and swag make up for youth. If you are the president and you present yourself in a way that makes us feel good, we will turn that back over to you in the sort of social capital that youth usually carries, right? Because we want you to have experience, but at a certain point, we have to be realistic, right? Like, Bill Clinton wasn't young, but he had a saxophone. We had a saxophone, so we defended him. We were like, that shows lung capacity. Have you heard him play, though? And then you had George W. Bush. Look, George Bush wasn't young, but he... I don't know, he just had like a childlike wonder to his... You could always tell when he was addressing the nation and he had also just learned a new word. Bush would be up there like, terror. Did I do it good? And then you had Barack Obama. And Barack Obama was younger than some of the people who have been president, you know, before and since, but he wasn't a baby. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't incredibly young, but he had that exact thing I'm talking about. He had an energy that was like a mobilization behind him, and he had like some measure of charisma that made up for any youth he might have been lacking. You know, I remember when Barack Obama sang that Al Green. That was incredibly uncomfortable. No, because when it happened, I was at a get together with a bunch of aunties going, "Oh, Barack." I'm like, no. No, I'm trying to have my dinner right now. What you doing? Can't eat meatloaf in these conditions. And then you went from Obama to Trump. And Trump had that energy. He had people behind him, and he came off youthful because he was like a schoolyard bully. Anytime somebody said something, any interview that went awry, he was ready, nickname, anything. He was just coming at you all the time. It's like he fed off of it. It was his favorite thing to fight with the media and get people riled up. That feels like youthful energy. That feels like it's going to be here forever, you know? And then we went from Trump to Biden, who, to be fair, told us he was going to be old. I've talked about this before. We were coming at Biden. We asked Biden, and Biden was like, "Are you sure? I got a Werther's in my mouth right now." I'll do it if you want me to do it, but my car does smell like potpourri, so. I'll do it. If y'all want me to do it, I'll do it. For real. If y'all like, no. Like if I'm the only one that can stop them, if I need to do it, I'll do it. But just know, when I shake world leaders' hands at the G7, G20, whatever, my hand will pop a lot. Whole handshake. It's gonna sound like Orville Redenbacher. But if y'all insist. And then we got Trump again after Biden, and this feels very different. You go back and watch a rally of Trump from 2016, 2017, and then you watch a press conference now, very different. It's very, very different. I mean, it seems like he's dying. Like it's because look, I'm not. It's not lost on me that to be an American, to live in the U.S., you have to become, or at least have an understanding of what you need to do to be a semi-good capitalist, right? And there are people that ask the question, how can you fight for a more equitable world while you're living in a system that is corrupt? And I look at it the way I look at when I travel and I meet people who live in the country, but they don't speak the language, right? Like, your native language is compassion and charity. You weren't made specifically to speak the language of margin calls and derivatives, dividends and everything. That's a language you can learn to get by because you live here, but it's not a language you were born with. When your parents are raising you, or when you have fond memories of being a kid, they all come from things much, much deeper than money. And then as you get older, you clearly need money to get by. That's no crime. Like, you have to function as a society. So you learn how to move with money as best as possible, but you can get distracted. It can take you to a place that makes it hard to remember your humanity. You know what I mean? Like, some people look at anyone who has succeeded in business as someone who must have earned it, but that's not how all business works. You know what I mean? Like, if I own a house and I set it on fire and I run out of the house, am I a genius, or did I just have an insurance policy? Maybe both, but maybe I'm a crook. You know? Like, only solvency that you have to contend with is your soul. You know what I mean? The solvency is defined by a company's ability to pay its long-term debts, right? If a company's not solvent, you have no trust in that company, and you probably shouldn't invest in that company. And as long as we're keeping it to financial terms, a soul works in a similar way. Depending on your belief system, depends on if your solvency, your long-term debt is to God or family, your community, or a cause. But, like, you can tell the difference between a religion and a cult by how they measure those solvencies. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that every major religion doesn't have its blemishes. It has people, so it's going to have plenty of mistakes in its history. But, a religion that only speaks to what is deeper about you and what is in you and what happens outside of all of this is probably worth looking into, worth reading about. And anything that brings it all the way down to the material good is probably a cult. You know what I mean? Just because a cult usually wants your money. They start off pretty good. A cult usually starts off with, like, a great party or something, and then, like, I don't know, in about 3 weeks, they're like, hey, how much do you make? Dividends work the same way. Dividends get paid out. Companies will pay dividends to their investors, and those dividends go to shareholders. They go to investors, and if you have ever been the beneficiary of someone's kindness or goodwill, then you have dividends to pay throughout your life, And I don't know if that can be understood if you only understand business. Country isn't a business. It just isn't. You know what I mean? Like, but who knows? He's a businessman. Like, maybe he's Trump is a businessman the way JFK Jr. was a pilot. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. No, you should groan. You're on the plane.
Welcome to Josh Johnson's show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited for today. Today's been on my mind for quite a while.
Why is that? Tell the people why you're...
Okay, so...
Talk a little bit louder, sorry.
Okay, if you remember, we embarked on an adventure a few episodes ago, a Porta-Potty adventure. And we asked listeners to write in with how they think the sequel would go. The sequel to the film that we have yet to make. Mm-hmm. And I always find that the best films think way ahead of budgeting, casting, all that stuff, and they just write out all 2 or 3 movies initially. And so that's what we're here to do. They
always say don't write to your limitations, is what they say.
Yeah. Write to... to like the very edge of your imagination.
Yeah, right to the crimes you want to commit on your audience.
So,
I'm going through and starring them right now, and I will say, Josh, we've got quite a few.
Yeah, we're going to be reading what you wrote in as far as sequels to the Porta-Potty adventures.
Okay. You want to take turns reading these two?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You should probably go first.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 here right now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez. So I want you to just pick 1 through 8, and I'm gonna go with one of those. I have not read these yet, so if they suck, it may get edited out. So just letting you know that now.
1.
Okay, I'm gonna start right up here then. Like I said, I did not read these. This one's mostly just title, so I like this because this is from Vincent, and the title of this email is "2 Porta, 2 Potty, Tokyo Skid." And all the email says, it just says, in this one, the shit really hits the fan. That's it. Like I said, I hadn't read these yet, but that's all it says.
That's so funny. Wow.
Points to the title, though.
Yeah, points to the
that.
title.
I like that.
Let me see. I'm going to pull up just really quick for people listening now. It's not that many episodes back, but if you are looking for context to this episode, It's JJS number 117, Porta-Potty, a true crime story, is where this all started. And so these are sequels, projected sequels.
I guess
to
we
that.
maybe didn't explain it. Do we need to cover it all, what the story was? You just pitched the idea of a murderer who blows up toilets at every crime scene. And then I believe it devolved into really just a man.
I mean, it's actually best to not recap it because I feel like it would just lead to confusion. Only because none of it that we've read, none of it that we will read, none of it that we've said is happening.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so basically just we try to make our show as evergreen as possible, but basically if you want to, this is a true sequel. You got to see the first one. This isn't some Marvel shit. We're gonna recap a bunch of movies up top to try to make sure you're with us. Sorry, we don't. Because
I think what we would
this is Lord
accidentally
of the Rings 2. You better have seen the first one.
We would accidentally take as long as the first episode took to explain it,
and write our own sequel while we're doing it. Okay, do you want to read one, or since that was a short one, do you want me to do another one?
I can read one.
Okay. So here, all those highlighted ones. Go ahead, choose your own adventure there.
All the highlighted ones.
Do I sound okay? I feel like my mic sounds. Does it sound good to you?
I mean, you sound so different to me than you must sound to yourself.
Okay.
We should actually switch headphones so you can see what I mean. Because you're telling me to like talk louder, and you're telling me, but I swear to you that.
Well, I know I asked you to talk louder because you were coming up low.
No, I feel like both of us are yelling right now.
Really?
In my ears, yeah.
Yeah, my headphones. Just once I plugged yours in,
we can switch if you want, because I would much rather hear less than hear what I'm hearing right now.
Well, you don't have to wear them if you don't want to.
Yeah, but clearly you should wear so you can hear what.
These won't reach to you though.
Oh, all right.
This is a shorter. Okay. I'm just saying this is a shorter cord. You're far away from.
I'm
saying
with
you don't gotta like be angry about my logistics
I'm not angry
of measurements.
At all. I'm not angry at all. This one, let's see. I'm just gonna. Okay.
That's all staying in.
This is coming from. Do you say the name usually? Because I try not to say the name unless they say the name in the email.
I tend whatever they sign off, or I tend to just work in like a first name.
There is no sign off. So, this came from someone with the first name Bria, and that's all we know. Hello.
Have you never listened to our show and how I read the emails?
No, I know I read the emails, but this is the
our...
first time in a long time where there's just nothing to go on except the actual
this is
email.
Our 122nd episode, and you're like, do we say names?
No, I know we say names, but this might be a real name, and as long as I don't say the last name, then I think we're good.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, when I say the name, and it's a lot. Hello, J-Lo. I would love to dance with the idea that the two men Anna had unfortunate dinner dates with were actually in collaboration. Enter the Porta-Potty Dynamic Daters, PPDDs. Wow. Okay, that's a truly it's barely a deep cut, but it's a medium cut. So
there's two worlds colliding now.
Yeah, so someone has written in and they've combined Anna, who has sent us like emails chronicling the dates that she went on that were horrible, and what we came up with for the Porta-Potty adventures, the true crime story. So a lot is happening right now. The email reads, foot fetish scares his target into excusing themselves to the bathroom so they can escape an embarrassing situation, and then boom, gray man strikes. Oh, also the title. This is my bad, actually. The title subject line of this email was foot fetish and gray man as the Porta-Potty villains. So that's why it makes sense that it's the Anna and the other thing.
Yeah. This is why I don't let it. I mean, I want him to read emails more, but it makes sense why he doesn't now.
Boom, gray man strikes. Gray goes BDSM on the bathroom, and together the boys would move from restaurant to restaurant, humiliating their victims, greatly inconveniencing the janitors and staff of the restaurant, and stumping the detectives and police on their trail.
Can I say right now that going BDSM on a bathroom is a thing I'm going to start saying?
That's
be like, man, I ate a lot. I'm about to go BDSM on this bathroom. It's about to be gray, man.
I really don't like that.
It's about to be 50 Shades of oh no in here.
It's That's really upsetting. I couldn't help putting these two stories together as I've been playing catch up on your most recent episodes, all conspiracy theories / stories aside. I wish the best to everyone involved in these stories.
Yeah, whether the story is real or fake, I just hope everyone's fine.
And to Anna, I hope you find a man who treats you right. Absolutely love the show. Thank you both for all that you do. Well, thank you, Bria. Thank you so much. Thank you for adding an extra layer that I didn't see coming. Maybe there is some sort of extra person that besides the main villain in the sequel, you know?
Well, maybe what we find out is that the killer, the murderer that the detective is chasing, he is following the man who is having the bathroom troubles to cover up his own crimes. You know what I mean? To lead the police after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
You know, it's like he's trying to as a scapegoat a little bit. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, let's keep it.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep it. Yeah, after each of these, let's decide if it's staying in or not.
Yeah, let's just keep it in there.
Okay, this one here. Okay, this one's a little bit longer. This is from Sid, and the title is Porta-Potty sequel. Hi, Josh and Logan. It's Sid. You know, the guy who said Logan wasn't fat that one time? Oh, God, that was funny.
That was very funny.
That was one of the funniest things a listener has ever said to me.
We were in Rosemont outside of Chicago. And we had just done a show together, a stand-up show, not a live podcast.
Yeah, just stand up.
And this guy's coming up talking to us. We're having a quick chat. And as we're chatting, he's very complimentary of our sets and everything.
Yeah.
And then kind of out of nowhere, like right as we thought we were about to all part ways, he turns to Logan and he's like, "You're not like fat like you make yourself seem."
I believe the exact wording was, I was expecting you to be a lot fatter because of how you talk about yourself or something.
Yeah, that sounds more correct.
It was something like that. It was a compliment. He was being kind of being like, listen, you're hard on yourself. Mm-hmm. You aren't that fat. But it was to just say I was expecting a fatter man.
Yeah. Also, when
won't
you
feel
say,
great either way.
Yeah, when you say that, you are saying fat. You know what I mean? It's like when people say something's not that bad. It's like, so you're admitting it's bad.
You're admitting it's not great.
You're just saying it's not as bad as people have made it seem.
Ooh, thought this would be worse. Is what?
Yeah. Which was still, I could tell it came out wrong, even when he said it.
It's like we have a lot of listeners who come to shows now, and they don't, they know your stand up, but they don't really know my stand up, and they'll be like, oh man, like I didn't know what to expect, and like you're funny too. And I know they're being complimentary. Mm-hmm. That wording doesn't feel great because it means they went in maybe expecting me to suck.
Or just like not really knowing what the show would be.
Right, yeah.
Like maybe they thought that we'd just be up there together.
Yeah, that we'd be together. I'd just be off to the side just laughing at your jokes. I wonder if what they imagine it's going to be. I have nothing.
Yeah, I thought they'd be sitting next to you.
Yeah. But I loved hearing the process of you guys coming up with a whole movie script on the fly in the Porta-Potty Killer episode. I like coming up with stories too, so here's my shot at a sequel with a twist at the end. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, here we go. The retired detective is woken up in the middle of the night by a phone call from the police chief. The chief is asking him to come to a new crime scene despite his retirement. It looks like the Porta-Potty Killer is back. At the crime scene, there is a new detective who can't stomach the mess. Three dead, 4 in critical condition, and 6 stalls out of commission.
That sounds like the Pablo Francisco way of describing the movie. Like when you list it like that.
3 dead, 4 in critical condition, and 6 stalls out of commission. The old detective suspects next of kin, but the killer's son and daughter are both clear. The son hates his dad and is all too happy to see him in prison. and his daughter hasn't seen him since she left with her mother, his ex-wife, 9 years ago.
It's like when you hear it as more than just a sentence at a time, it's so funny because imagine if the narrator guy from the trailer really was the guy the entire time, like the full Morgan Freeman guy. You either get busy living or get busy dying.
Poor Andy had to crawl through 100 yards of human shit. Do you want me to keep doing the voice?
Yes, please.
The detectives go visit the potty killer in prison. It just says potty killer, which I know Porta-Potty killer is already funny, but potty killer just seems silly. I like it. The detectives go visit the potty killer in prison and get his input. He says there's only one person who could do such damage.
Potty killer does sound like he's 4.
It does, yeah. His nephew. A skinny, athletic kid who's lactose intolerant. A skinny, athletic kid who's lactose intolerant and has the metabolism of the Flash. He has a twisted mind and he has a twisted mind and digestive system that can eat anything, and it runs right through him. And he's always admired. A twisted mind and digestive system.
And his stomach's in knots.
And he's always admired the potty killer. As they're told this, the news reports show another incident. This time, an entire bathroom was taken out and there were 2 deaths. The killer tells them that there must be a mastermind behind the incidents because his nephew isn't that smart and they should look for them first.
Yeah, my nephew a fucking idiot, so...
Listen, he's violent, but he's dumb.
Look, when I tell you that he ran into some nails when he was little, one of them went right into his head, he not all there.
At the latest crime scene, the new Porta-Potty killer leaves a new calling card. In parentheses, a literal card taped to the wall that says, You'll have a cumbersome mess cleaning up this case. The new detective gasps, now knowing the mastermind behind the new line of crimes is the Punisher, which I believe is my alter ego. Josh is not enjoying this anymore because now there's puns. The old detective calls the police chief asking if he had info on this Punisher guy. Chief says he's heard of him and knows just the guy to catch him. The scene changes to a cryotherapy room with a man in the chamber on his phone. Chief, hey, you busy? Man, what do you think? Chief, right. Well, I hope you're good and charged because we need your help. With, he's back. With help. This time, we need you to put him on ice. Man makes angry grunt noise. Chief, we need you to put him down for good. Man with ice powers who hates puns. It'll cost you double for that slip up. Man with ice powers who hates puns hangs up phone and steps out of cryotherapy ready to take down the Punisher. Wow.
What? Yeah, but what happened to the movie accent middle way through? Did you just drop it?
Oh, no, sorry, I was doing voices because but I did drop it.
Oh, okay, got you.
But it was doing different characters. It felt weird to be like, Chief, hey, you busy? Man, what do you think? That it seemed weird for them to just have the same. So now, okay, this is one of the most intricate callbacks episode now.
Yeah, someone has really listened a lot.
This is now 6 episodes of lore.
Yeah. We should be careful to only do this once in a while.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. This is if this is anyone's first episode, they're lost. They are absolutely lost.
Yeah.
They have no idea what we're talking about because now it's you and me and our alter egos are now characters in this movie.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
No, it's fine.
You seem concerned.
No, but it's like I don't. Yeah, I can't even tell you which episodes to go to for some of these. You know how when you really start following comic books when you're a kid and they're like, oh yeah, the Hulk first appeared, because the Hulk was never in like just Hulk 1.
Right, yeah.
The Hulk was in like Action Comics 7.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And so now you have to go back and read Action Comics 7 to see, and then even when you go back to Action Comics 7, it's not really the Hulk, it's like Bruce Banner getting like upset that his coffee order's wrong.
Yeah, I think you literally. So that. So the man with ice powers who hates puns and the Punisher, I believe, their first appearance was number 116, Joshy on Ice. The Porta-Potty Killer was the next episode in 117, the Porta-Potty, a true crime story. I think we talked about all of that again in 50 Shades of Yellow. So like the last 4 episodes. At least. Or I guess there's going to be a Thanksgiving episode in there too. So we'll make sure to not talk about anything lore-wise.
Yeah, jeez.
Thanksgiving episode. All right. We got a few more there. Your turn.
This next one is from Maggie, and it's just entitled Porta-Potty, getting right to the point.
Right to it.
The email reads, short, not sweet. Cop who retired has unleashed all the pent-up emotions and, well, shit. Now can't stop. Becomes the guy he arrested in all the facets you went through in the show. Because he has cop skills and has been close to criminals his whole career, he is much more convincing and good at what he does. He is the true marathon poop cop. Using your list of how to be a good criminal with a few new ideas of his own. And again, it's all about the poop. He isn't trying to kill anyone, but he targets the people he has arrested in the past but couldn't make charges stick. This will stick. Revenge has never smelled so bad.
Now that is interesting though.
Yeah.
I don't know if a movie's ever done that where the sequel is the cop.
The cop is the cop really snapping.
It's the cop who put him away. That would be like if they did a sequel to 7 and it was Morgan Freeman just like, shit, how about 8? And
yeah. Or just like an actual Batman movie where he's like, the Joker was right in the last one.
I am going to just be
everybody about to get it.
Everybody about to get it. I'm done just punching.
Yeah.
It's time to start stabbing. Shit, I've made all these cool inventions. How about a gun? Hey, Lucius Fox, you got some guns for me? I mean, we don't really have those. Morgan Freeman's in this a lot.
Yeah. Have you seen when people try to shoot? Have you seen the videos of people trying to shoot a shotgun and then they don't hold it right, so the shotgun flies behind them?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I imagine Batman shoots guns like, because he's never even wanted to pick one up. So that he probably just holding it all lazy and then accidentally shoots and like hits himself in the. Have you seen that video of that person that was shooting a Magnum and then they hit themselves in the forehead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of those where they just and it's like just pow.
There was one that made me laugh so hard because it was this lady with a rifle like on a chair. Mm-hmm. And she might have been in a rocking chair. This is the dumbest setup I've ever seen, like wannabe deer stand setup. And it was a chair.
A rocking chair is bad for recoil absorption. It's just more recoil.
So then it was a chair, and then it was her in a rocking chair, and then she shot the gun.
Yeah,
but it was really racked up on nothing. She was really just letting it lay on the chair. So when it shoots, it knocks her back, and she starts rocking. But then it also made the scope like hit her really hard in the head.
Oh. This one here, this is from Jeremy. The title is Porta-Potty 2. This time, it's Poopstinel. Remember, it's a podcast. They can't see your reaction. You need to sometimes actually. Okay, it's just rolling on, just closing eyes, shaking head.
Just read it.
It's been 2 years. Do you want the voice again?
Yeah.
I didn't bring anything to drink. All right. It's been 2 years since the detective retired from the police force. He's been plagued by the events of the first movie and had to retire early due to intense smell-related trauma. His marriage is in the toilet. And his kids hate him. In order to fix his family, he books them a cruise to enjoy the Bahamas. He paid no mind to the fact it was a carnival cruise, given the circumstances of the poopy butt killer. The poopy butt killer. Who routinely struck at fairs, known by some as carnivals. Shortly after the detective and his family board the ship, something starts to stink, literally. On the third day, people start turning up dead in their bathrooms, shrouded in a god-awful smell. The rest of the movie is the detective playing a game of cat and mouse with the deranged killer who has escaped from prison and wants revenge on the detective for putting him in prison. The title would be Porta-Potty 2, Boat of 1,000 Turds. And then it's all like big text like that. It just says, I copied this from the notes app, so the formatting is awful. You guys rule. Let's make this incredible film series come to life. Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. Was Carnival the one that they did like sink and got filled with shit? I can't remember which one it was.
I don't remember.
Because I thought that's where it was going. Was that was going to be one of those cruise ships.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which I think there's still room for that. But I like the idea. This is a real like Speed 2 cruise control situation of like, I don't know, this time on a boat. Is kind of, I like that form of sequel.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that a lot. See, now we're bringing current events in.
Wow.
Yeah. This is y'all are bringing it this episode. Can I pitch you a title that you're gonna hate?
What's up?
Porta-Potty 2, Electric Booty Goo.
This next email.
Do you get it? They're like electric
our friend
like electric boogaloo,
Moss.
like electric boogaloo. But I went
The subject line
booty goo,
in
like poopy.
The email,
Joshua, like
is
poopy.
Porta-Potty number 2, a true crime story in parentheses.
Okay, who's this from again? Though, say the name again.
Moss.
Sorry, Moss. Okay.
The opening scene is a detective interrogating the perp one last time before retiring. He left him with one haunting message. I was like you once, until one day I lost control. Insert time jump.
I was just gonna say smash cut to him running down a hall. No.
Insert time jump. The detective is spending time with his family at a water park.
Ooh. These last two have been wet and wild.
He thought to himself that he's been so relaxed since retiring. Maybe a little too relaxed. He was reminded of those haunting words right before feeling the need to go. Running out of the pool, he tripped several families. And sent them flying like Mario Kart shells. After he flushes, he noticed something on his hand. Blood.
Oh, thank God.
Thus begins his trail of toilet terrorism and his collection of bloody toilet handles. His young ex-partner unknowingly is searching after him and turns to the original perpetrator for advice.
Perpetrator. I like that.
Hijinks ensues. Make it a great day. boss.
Make it a great day. Wait, so this is okay. So at first I thought this was going to be I thought it was a prequel, but it seems so. The insert time jump means so. Then this is another one where the detective becomes the killer again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm literally trying to think of any movie that has done that, where then the cop in the next one is like, "Oh shit, I'm the bad guy now."
Yeah, I'm crazy.
I'm really trying to think about it.
I really see where he is coming from now.
I think they might have done it in one of like the Saw sequels or something.
Yeah.
Didn't one of them like
Something
become
like
an
that.
acolyte or something of Jigsaw or some shit,
it.
something like that? But otherwise, like,
Yeah.
I'd love to see that in like a big movie.
I think it happened in Saw 3, and I'm pretty sure Saw 3 was not good.
I think it was Saw 3 was a different person was the traitor, but I think it happens in one of the later ones or something. I've got 2 more here. I haven't looked at what they say, but I want you to pick the title of the one you want to read, because one is just called Porta-Potty Sequel, and the other one says Buttholeless Detective.
Yeah, I think I'd like to read the Porta-Potty sequel.
You like the Porta-Potty Sequel? Okay, so here we go. This is a short one here. This is from Tatiana, and the title is Buttholeless Detective. Hey, Jogan, just wanted to say... Oh, this one isn't even... This is just a review, I think. Hey, Jogan, just wanted to say I almost ate shit up the stairs laughing when Josh started going off about the detective without a butthole. I guess I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy, and I'm okay with that. Keep it up, guys. Tatiana. Well, there you go. So there's the last one for you. Thank you for that review.
Wow. Okay. Can you do me a favor? Since we're on the last one, can you hook my headphones back up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just especially if I try to do any voices or anything.
Okay. I mean, I can do it, too, if you want the movie voice, but...
No, it's okay. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Okay.
It's a very behind-the-scenes episode, too. We're going to have a lot of... This is what happens when you record your podcast in a hotel room.
Okay, this one is from Jesse, and it's titled Porta-Potty Sequel. First time writing in, and I personally think this is the best episode. Big fan of the goofy point of view on a serious situation type of comedy. My name is Jesse, and the sequel would be as follows. Our hero, after being able to rid himself of the internal issues and taking that well-deserved shower, trudges over to
You. Sorry, getting a phone call now. Yes. Hi, recording with Josh.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to be done recording. I was going to see what you were up to.
Nope, we're in his room recording, so you're safe to go into our room now.
Okay, I'm getting ready to head home then.
Okie doke. Love you.
I love you.
All right,
Bye.
see you in a little bit. I'll cut that out, but...
No, don't. Seriously, they need to see what we're like.
I'm just a sweet boy who loves his girlfriend.
Our
Okay, so
hero,
well-deserved shower, right?
after being able to rid himself of his internal issues and taking that well-deserved shower,
He can wash away the stink, but can't wash away the memories.
trudges over to his bed to rest up for the night.
Oh, no.
Gets a phone call that wakes him from his sleep with a distressed detective informing him there's been another murder committed in a bathroom, and get this, no toilet handle. Our hero's blood turns cold, his stomach knots up, and fumbles his response to the agent. What do you mean? Yes, sir. This one happened at a gas station a couple of blocks away from the Chipotle. Hero says, thank you for informing me, son. I'll be there in a bit. He hangs up the phone and cries angrily into his hands. Here's the thing, you know it's happened in like real life, but it's so funny the idea of somebody getting off the phone, crying into their hands, and then showing up.
Yeah. Then they're like, all right, now off to work.
It's like when y'all were talking about brunch this morning. It's like, imagine if you had called me. It's like, hey, we're gonna go to brunch. You want to come? I'm like, yeah. I'll be in the lobby in a little bit. And then I cried into my hands. And then met you downstairs like nothing happened. No. Okay. All right.
Boy, this is really an unfortunate angle on me too. Sorry, now I'm just critiquing the camera that's on me.
Okay. Cries angrily into his hand. Oh, it's an angry cry too. It's not even just a sad cry.
Oh, you done bitch.
Furious that he has lost the edge he once had. Oh yeah, because now that he's released, he's not going to understand how the killer thinks, and so he's crying angrily into his hands because he blew his butt out.
Yeah, he's expressed his skill. He's lost his mojo, baby.
The constipation and stomach issues he had were the only thing giving him his drive, but it is gone. An undeserved relief.
Wow.
That would just be the preface without writing out the whole script. Bullet points as follows would be...
Anyway, I have this scene. Other shit happens.
Hero goes to the county jail to visit the man he arrested, and the man is sobbing uncontrollably, claiming his innocence. It dawns on Hero that he caught the wrong guy. Throwback to the rule of go to a town where someone may mistake you for someone else. Okay, that's a good one. Also, Hero goes to a station to get back on the case, right? Goes back to a station to get back on the case. Chief says in a typical stereotype cop, "You're too close to the case. I'm giving it to Jackson." So Hero goes rogue.
You're a loose butthole and you play by your own rules.
Yeah. Nobody can trust you, all right? Nobody can depends on you.
Look at this guy getting in on it.
Hero goes to Chipotle and bribes the workers there for information, using plumbing supplies instead of cash. That's pretty much all I got. Don't really have puns for the bulk of the movie, but the title would be Porta-Potty, Lingering Scent.
Ooh, I am a fan of Porta-Potty is great, and Lingering Scent is wonderful.
Thanks for reading, and keep rocking on, guys. Well, Jesse, thank you so much.
Yeah.
What a way to end. Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Just threw my phone at the ground.
I'm sorry. Because I was trying to support it more with my index finger.
The disrespect.
And then it slipped. Okay, but...
No, I know. I hear you. I know. I saw what happened.
Floors are carpeted, so it's all good.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you especially to Jesse, because ending on that one, I think ends the like run of them really well. Yeah. You know, we've gone over some theories. We've gone over some really viable sequels. I think the next step, which this won't happen for a while, so don't get too excited, but I think the next step here is to actually write out like
outline, a little
outline,
script.
a little beat sheet.
Okay.
Using, what's been written in with some of our own sort of flavor and
I think we have enough similar themes throughout these. I think pretty much all of these will influence the sequel a little bit. 'Cause we got a lot of clearly the cop is somehow either becomes the villain or at least has now lost his edge. Yeah. What I liked in that last one too, I would love to see a movie do that where literally it takes up an hour after the first movie ends and they're just like, oh fuck, we were wrong. Because that's how that one is. They're like, oh shit, the guy we had a whole thing with in the first.
That guy was just sick. He just had some stomach stuff happening that we grabbed the wrong dude.
That would be a way to do a sequel, because then you wouldn't have to worry about filling them in on the first movie. You'd be like, listen, everything happened in that first one, forget that. Wrong guy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got to chase a different guy now.
Yeah.
Different killer. Ignore it. You didn't see the first one? Great.
Yeah, it's actually better if you don't see
It's actually better now, because that was a waste of your time.
That we made a mistake.
We fucked up.
Yeah.
We made a movie we didn't like. We're trying again. Oh man.
Wow.
I mean, so we're about 40.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to try to fill this in with anything else, or do we just want to make this a short episode, maybe? Just since this was such a specific sequel.
Yeah, I think we can go over a couple of different aspects.
Okay.
That we really liked about, what was written in. So for you, like, just take us through things that you definitely think did happen in the sequel. That, we'll use this to keep it in mind for when the sequel's actually made.
Something that definitely did happen.
Yeah, there are things that you read or I read that you really enjoyed. Tell me some things that you definitely know happened in the sequel.
I don't know if I definitely know, but I do like, I mean, the obvious angle would be that, there's a copycat. The cop gets back into it, blah, blah, blah. He's just in front, blah, blah. I really do love the angle of him just becoming the Porta-Potty killer now, because he finally took a shit and now he can't stop, and it's led to a world of trouble. Mm-hmm. I really like that. I really think it's on theme with.
Okay.
It really like. It really keeps the heart of the movie, which the heart of this movie is the butt. But it's all about poop. It's all about the porta potty.
Now
it's all about the bathrooms are the main clue, right?
Do you think anything about his diet is going to be addressed in the second film?
I think we have to. I think we have to address his diet.
I think that we need to address how much bread.
Jesus Christ. That's my brother. I'm not going to answer that one right now. But
okay.
Everyone's calling me. And I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, but it's the people in my like call list, like important people.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It has happened to me.
Yeah. So, of course, it's only the people calling me that it rings for.
Yeah, I think we need to address the amount of cheese that he's probably ingesting, Well,
and now that he's on the run, I think there's a panic of trying to figure out how to stop himself from being, because he's not really trying, he's not becoming the killer on purpose. Mm-hmm, he's truly, because like we covered in the first movies, like was that killer really a killer, or was he just pushing people out of the way on the way to the toilet?
Because even at the water park, he's tripped several families.
Yeah.
Which means he's tripped at least like 27 people.
Exactly.
Because a family is a unit. So you tripped a lot of people just for it to be one family.
Yeah.
So if you trip several families,
exactly,
you're laying waste to some ankles. There's some knees that are never going to be the same. It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough.
No, it is. It's like
okay. The way you just looked down is you looked like it's something you've done.
No. It's just you see a person change. You see like this character change over time.
Yeah.
This is someone that wanted to do good. This is an internal battle that a lot of people in their actual everyday lives are fighting. They're fighting to not become the villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we see it in movies all the time. We see it like it's a common theme in film. But in real life, there are people who are like, am I going to be not even the villain, this person's villain today?
Am I going to become my villain that I've been chasing? The person I've been working to put down, have I accidentally become that villain? And in a way, I've seen it happen in front of me just now, because last couple episodes, you've been saying some puns.
I've been saying some puns?
Yeah.
I've said like 2.
I'm saying you used to say none.
No, I would say a couple.
But I feel like I've gotten to you.
You haven't gotten to anything.
I feel like you
can hurry up and go to hell.
I feel like the man with ice powers who hates puns is becoming the man with ice powers who kind of likes puns.
No, don't do that. All right?
Okay.
You're not affecting anything.
What does that mean?
Okay, you're acting like you're having an effect on me. You're not affecting anything. All right,
I'm not having an effect.
I'm the same.
Wow,
I'm the same person.
What an insult to our friendship to say I'm not affecting you at all.
I'm the same person I have always been.
I know, and fuck, I wish you'd change.
Really, really.
I was something, just one thing.
This is classic you, all right?
Yeah, what about me?
Classic you. I'm trying to dig deep into plot progression and character development, and you're over here making it about me.
Oh, sorry that I made it about you on the show called The Josh Johnson Show.
But
how dare me to bring Josh Johnson?
The sarcasm is not helpful, all right? You see the sarcasm? All right.
You forget that you wanted this show to be your name, and you're always mad when I bring you into it.
No, I'm not always mad when you bring me into it.
Creamer drinking bitch.
You used it to distract, and you like to bring up old stuff.
Yeah, you clumsy.
You like to pull up old
clumsy
stuff.
ass creamer drinking.
Okay, because you wanted to play innocent. You wanted to play innocent like it was just me, but I knew you could feel it too. All right, you were coming at me sideways. And I called it out as soon as I saw it. Couldn't help yourself, could you?
I wasn't trying to call you out. I was trying to elevate your point by saying I've seen it tie into real life.
Mm-hmm. The way you said it, the way you were trying to say you were seeing me be seen.
Say that again.
Came out pretty insulting. Oh, okay. Came out pretty weird, and then it didn't take long. It didn't take long for me calling that moment out.
Yeah,
to us to get to the creamer and to the clumsy and stuff. Yeah. So I know what you think. All right, I know what you're thinking at any point where we're over here, acting like I'm being unreasonable. But I'm just calling it the way I see it.
I didn't say you were being unreasonable.
No, but you were looking at me like I was being unreasonable.
The point I literally made,
sarcasm in your voice.
The point I literally made was to say you were being reasonable and making a good point, and I was tying it in to our show. Which, to bother you, but most of these emails were tying in other stuff from our show.
How about this? How about you slow down and quiet those plosives on the point? All right, don't hit me with the point. All right. You coming at me with the point I was trying to point out to you when I was making the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then finally when they discover the detective, the one thing he won't give up is drinking creamer because he's a dumb bitch.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Showing true colors.
Yeah.
True colors. Yeah.
This is fun. It's always good getting to see you.
Getting to see the real you is what we're getting to see.
Oh, well, I didn't think this movie franchise would tear us apart, but
I mean,
as soon as none of the people in Fast and Furious get along anymore,
As soon as large amounts of money get involved, people change.
Large amounts. We haven't even made the movie or made anything off of it. We're already just assuming it's going to be a hit, so we may as well get to the feud now.
Yeah.
Fuck it. This is going to be huge. You're dead to me.
Before pen ever meets paper.
Yeah. What about you? What happened in the sequel for you?
I think for me there was a lot of the detective coming to grips with the fact that maybe he got the wrong person, and maybe he understands this person more so than he'd ever want to admit. Okay. I feel like I even said that in the initial.
I think so.
In the initial one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that now it's obvious. Like now people are almost suspicious of him because they're like, "Why do you know so much about butts? You're not a doctor."
You're not a butt detective.
Is this a fascination, or is this like a part-time job for you? Why do you know so much? How are you always so good at catching them? Yeah. Maybe it's because you think like them. And so now people in the department are turning on him. You know how sometimes when cops retire, they have that general respect in their old precinct.
Yeah,
it's almost like being a senior from your high school, and then you come by to pick something up, and people still remember you though.
Yeah.
It's like that, but he doesn't have that. The precinct's turned on him. He was supposed to be a hero cop. This was supposed to be his last job before he retired. And now they're suspicious. They're like, maybe we got the wrong guy. Maybe you're the guy.
Maybe it's not even suspicious. They're just grossed out.
Yeah.
Like once he figured out how to catch him, everyone's just like,
Yeah.
Ew.
Like he knelt down. And
like no one wants to shake his hand anymore.
Yeah, no one wants to shake his hand because they start a rumor that he doesn't wash his hands, even though he does. But people are like, no, he don't wash his hands so he can keep his edge.
I just had a horrible visual in my head of just like, where they dab their pinky to like lick the cocaine. It's just poopy. Yeah. That's him, all right. I told you it wasn't good.
Thanks so much for listening to the Josh.
Let's get out of here. we did a crime here. The real crime was committed here.
We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're going to be posting clips of this show. Yeah. And if you're looking for Logan, you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag, like all those people did, you can email us, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. I can't promise we'll read any more Porta-Potty sequels, but I mean, if you got one, you're welcome. Yeah, we'll put them in a folder. Yeah, we'll hang on to them. I can't promise we'll take up more time. We'll archive them. But when we're ready to tank our show, we'll do this again. And thank you to everybody who emailed in. Those were all very fun. I liked reading all of those. Yeah, we really appreciate those. All of those were top shelf. So thank you so much for sending in. I wasn't expecting. I thought we were going to get like 2. Mm-hmm. But it was like within a week of that episode, we had all those. Wow. And I was like, wow, okay. Oh, jeez. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day and a wonderful weekend.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. Hit the bell notification because apparently it's the only way YouTube will tell you that something happened. And just tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just tell one person in your life that you like, maybe you don't like, that this video happened to you. We release the podcast every Thursday on all the podcast apps, so you should find us there and subscribe on those and comment and leave reviews and whatever on all of them. And also, if you want bonus stuff, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts and videos and stuff there, and we'd love to see you.
San Francisco, California. Please make some noise for Josh Johnson!
I've been having trouble. I can't stop thinking about how we've gone from this like 36-hour news cycle that we were kind of in last year to now this sort of 12-hour, maybe even 6-hour news cycle that we're in now. It's just everything bombards you all the time, and there's no time to take in a story as it's happening. As soon as a story happens, there's another thing to replace it that's the big deal for this 20 minutes, you know? And it's hard to even vet stories now. Like, there'll be a story that seems like a big deal, but the more you think about it, the more you're like, why'd you tell me that? But it'll be big news for a second, and then it'll be like, oh, but then that was just wasting my time, okay? Like, I don't know if you saw, but apparently after all this time, they've nailed it down. They've solved it. Apparently, we got Jack the Ripper. Some would say a little late. Some would definitely say that all the women alive now are worried about the men alive now. But at least we got Jack the Ripper, you know? He eluded us for a while, but he couldn't hide forever. Apparently, some guy claims he nailed it down with some DNA, and after I finished reading it, I was like, yep. Think he got away with it. Because that's the thing, it's like you're inundated with so many different notifications, so many different news stories going down the line. You can't even enjoy the little things that aren't even quite news, but like, remember when a video would be viral for like a whole day? And we'd all share it for like a day. We at least used to have a day. And now there's so much news, you don't get to enjoy anything for like a full day. And not everybody even sees the thing that's dope. Like, this is just me personally, but I've very much been enjoying how terribly these Dove releases have been going at funerals. In case you're not familiar,
There are some funerals where everybody can't get like a 21 gun salute or anything like that. So they'll do something special, whether the funeral director suggests it or the family wants it, and they'll have these doves. And it depends on how they want to do it for the funeral, right? Some people say some sweet words and they release one dove at a time. Some people say some sort of message. They give a eulogy either at the cemetery or at another special place to the person that passed, and then they release all the doves at one time. But one thing that's been happening consistently is they will stand people in a line and give them the cue to release the dove. And when you see a dove release, it does make you feel something. It's like a powerful thing. I understand why it's such a symbol for people. But the last few videos I've seen, the doves do just sort of die rather than fly away. There's one video that is truly spectacular. It is art to the point where I worried it was a sketch. There's 3 family members standing in a row, and this first one's cute to throw the dove up, and she goes, even bends her knees a little bit, really give it some oomph, and the dove bounces off her hands and then bounces off the ground. As she snaps back, she's like, ooh, I hope that's not an omen. And then the second person releases their dove, and that dove flies off beautifully. And you're like, okay, not so bad. And then the third person goes to release his dove, and I think he knew his was dead. If anything, I feel like he pitched that one. He was trying to, like, if I can toss it high enough, maybe it'll wake. There was another funeral where they were doing dove releases, and they had like 5 people lined up, and they were doing a different like stanza to this poem, and at every break in the stanza they released one of the doves and stuff, and they were getting close to the end. So this I don't know if this woman was number 5 or number 4, but she was whispering at the funeral director the entire time, "He dead." And the funeral director's like, what? Hand me another one, he dead. And the funeral director's like, that's all I brought. What do you mean that's all you brought? He clearly dead. She's like, funeral director looking at him, trying not to interrupt the beautiful poem that's being read, and he's like, no, he's asleep. He's asleep, he'll wake up, just throw him, he'll wake up. You throw him, he'll wake up. And they released the second picture, and the third picture is right here, and she's like, this is a dead bird in my hand. Don't play with me. Find another bird. And he's like, I swear it's asleep, just throw it. And then the third person throws theirs up, and then they read the poem, and the woman's standing there like, you could tell they get the like last couple lines of the poem, and this woman holding this bird goes, she just tried to like waste bird up, and then they end the poem, everybody looking at her, and the field director like, and then sure enough, she go to, and the bird just plopped down. And she was looking at the field director daggers like, this your boy? And then the 5th person, their dove fly off no problem. So everybody got a good dove, except for her. I felt for her. One thing I don't know if everybody thinks about when it comes to those dove releases is where they go. What's next? I don't know anything about this, so I don't know if the dove returns and, they just know to go to the funeral director's house or something. I'm assuming they start a new life. Like, I'm assuming the dove gets thrown in the air. It was like, what a beautiful ceremony. I didn't know him, but y'all sent him off right. And then they fly off and try to get things going themselves. I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to be like a released dove at a Bronx funeral. You're a released dove at a Bronx funeral. And then you land on some roof somewhere. You're like, all right, I guess I gotta get my bearings. And then a pigeon land right behind you, just, what's up, sweet thing? Pigeon just seemed like a very rub the belly bird, It's like, how you doing, huh? Hey, you looking fine as hell. No spots or nothing. Hey, you must be new to the city. Let me show you around. I know where the good spots are. But that's the world we're in now, Nothing but news stories, non-stop. Everything's coming at you. We've gone from this 36-hour news cycle to the 12-hour, 6-hour, 4-hour on a really bad day. And you cannot care about everything. You can't, you want to have empathy, and especially when something's big, you want to care about it for as much attention as you feel like it deserves. But then another thing happens, and you're just daisy-chained bad news all the time, or what's supposed to be important news all the time. And so sometimes things fall out of your head because you're like, I can't focus on everything at once, and some things I can't do anything about. And so after a while, you haven't heard about something long enough, you just assume it's been resolved if nobody's talking about it. But nobody's talking about it because there's so many things to talk about. And you also have to measure up how you feel about the world right now with the fact that everyone trying to give you news about the world also wants your money. They want a subscription from you. So they're just inundating you with all this stuff because, maybe you'll like news from us. So we'll just keep sending you notifications. Because there's always a lot happening in the world. That's not different. The fact that we have access to it is different. I was thinking about all this last week. I was just sitting there and thinking to myself, dang, we never did get those astronauts down. What's the plan? That was a while ago. We should probably do something about that. And look, it's not like I can do something about it. I care, but I can't help. It's not like when your loudest, dumbest friend is in a bar fight, and they're over there talking trash, or you're like, he over there though. I would never be able to get there in time. There's nothing I could possibly do. He's kind of on his own, which is a shame. I wish I could help, but he's all the way over there, and that other guy is very big, and no one was talking to me. So, in case you don't know, in case you missed it, which is understandable, there were 2 astronauts that went up, Butch and Sonny, and they went up to the International Space Station, and they were the first to, I believe, man this Boeing Starliner. So they went up in this Boeing Starliner, which some would say was a mistake. Because I don't know how many news stories you consumed last year, but Boeing was not having a fantastic year. And Boeing has different divisions, by the way. It's not all one thing. It's one company, but it's not all one thing. Everybody's not working on everything at the same time. So the plane people and the space people aren't necessarily the same, but by and large, as a company, wasn't looking good. And so they went up to the International Space Station with this Boeing Starliner. And I'm not going to act like I understand or know how to do what astronauts do. I don't get it, and I'm glad that they do. Because astronauts, NASA, all of these experiments that they do in space have yielded incredible things for us down here on Earth that you wouldn't necessarily even connect to space, you know, like memory foam, inner ear thermometer. All the times that they've had to solve a problem up there, it's led to us having something dope down here. So keep going to space. I think that that's great. I don't know what you do up there, but all I know is it makes my life better, and I appreciate it, you know? Because everything I know about working in space, I know from the movies. And whenever I see it in the movie, it's just the astronaut outside of the ship with a wrench. Every time I see it, it's Sandra Bullock or Bruce Willis outside the ship, just... I don't know what it is about space that makes screws so loose, but like, I genuinely assumed that a quarter of being an astronaut was just tightening. I don't know why space is so loose, but it's just you gotta keep it tight all the time. And so they send them up there, and this Boeing Starliner had a bunch of other problems. It had a bunch of other issues on the sort of unmanned tests that they were doing, you know. And so it's very brave of them to even go up there and be doing these experiments and try and make a better world for us, you know. They get up there, and they're supposed to be up there for like 8 days, right? And I don't know if they caught it or it got caught down here, but there were a bunch of problems with the Boeing Starliner. Some of them were helium leaks, because helium is incredibly hard to just capture, just keep it so light, and it's very easy to escape. And then they were worried about the thrusters, and so they were worried about control issues if they were to come down, right? Because Boeing used to be a better company. Boeing used to be a company that put engineers and innovation first. And then they had a bit of a merger, and that merger started to prioritize shareholders, prioritize the money. And so some of that innovation, some of those engineers started to fall to the wayside, and you have what we get now, planes that make you a little nervous and ships that only go one way. Because, make no mistake, Butch and Sonny are fine in the sense that they are the most seasoned astronauts that we have. You know, Sonny has logged potentially more hours than I think anybody should. 322 days in space, and she has logged like 50 hours of spacewalking and everything. She's like a true veteran, and even before that, she was a diver in the Navy, and she piloted combat helicopters. Like, she knows what she's doing. And Butch is the same way. Butch had already been on missions before this, and to be fair, this was going to potentially be one of their last missions. And so for them to go up in space for those 8 days, them getting some extra days, maybe they don't mind. I just am trying to not project how I would feel. Because if it were me, because once again, I'm not an astronaut. I can never be an astronaut. Not good enough at math, throw up too easy. So I don't give off astronaut, right? But if it had been me, if I had gone up into space, it was supposed to be 8 days, and then they were like, ooh, that ship, we may not be able to send you back down in that ship. I would be like, oh, okay, cool. So when's the next ship coming up? And so some of this is being explained to me by my friend, so forgive me if I'm like a bit incorrect, but he's saying that not only are they good because of how seasoned they are and how much they genuinely love being in space, but also because they have these like pods and stuff and different things they can send up to give them supplies, give them food and everything, give them things to continue their experiments, more wrenches. I don't know what it is, but like they can send stuff up. And so in my head, I was like, oh, okay, all right. Like if you can send stuff up, like you can send a pod up or whatever, then why don't they just... Like, why don't they just hop in the pod when all the food, like after they get all the food out and they eat the food, oh, delicious, and then they get in... they could get in the pod, right? And then take the pod down. He's like, no, it doesn't actually work like that. You know, it's not a manable ship and it's too small and everything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Why don't they make a bigger pod? You know, enough to fit people with just some seats, just for fun, just some seats. And then they send that up, and they could even put like an Xbox controller in it, just to have something, you know? And then send them down with that. And he's like, Josh, it doesn't work like that. Like, everything you're saying doesn't make any sense. And I was like, okay, I understand that everything I'm saying doesn't make sense, but the way it does work is also sound like it doesn't make sense. To me. Just to me. All right? I'm not Butch and Sonny, and I'm not going to speak for them. I'm talking about if I was in space for too long, if it was me, which it will never be. It's not going to happen. I would pass out. So this isn't even a problem that we really have to discuss. I just couldn't get it out of my head. Because in my head, it's like to send me something, but not let me come back down in the thing you sent me would be like if I was stranded. Imagine, stranded on Earth. Let's say I'm just stranded on Earth somewhere, and you're worried about me, and you're worried about me having supplies, having food and everything. So you send me an Uber Eats. But then you go, no, don't get in the car. Don't get in the car. That's not how this works. This is not a car. This is a burrito car. See, you don't understand rocket science. This is a burrito car. You just try to get in any kind of car you want. That doesn't make sense. Stay there till we come get you with a car. Oh, it's tough. It really is. Because if you read articles and if you listen to interviews with Butch and Sonny, they're not just in great spirits. They, if they're to tell it, are getting all this extra time in space. Space is their passion. It's their happy place. And so it's somewhere where they can go that is unlike where any of us can go. They see a perspective of the Earth that most people will never get in person. That's beautiful. And the expanses that they get to wake up to, that's incredible, you know? And so if this really was going to be one of their last missions and it lasts all this extra time, there is something to be said for like, wow, I really got to spend a surprising amount of time in space. And I hope they feel that way. I really do. I just know if it was me, I would also be putting a good face on. So that way, everybody's working real hard to bring me down, and I can whoop some ass. That would be... Because you know how when you're on the phone with like customer service or something, you got to be extra nice, even though you get madder and madder and madder. Because if you start cursing, they're like, every time you swear at me, my computer seems to jam up. I don't know how the two are related, but they definitely are. May want to fix your attitude. No, I'm playing as nice as possible until I get down. And best believe when I get down, we're having it out. And I'm not even like a bad man like that. I can't even fight, but I tell you, I'm biting the first person I see. I cannot swing, but best believe I will catch a mouthful of your chin, all right? You leave me up there all this time? What's wrong with you? You must be out of your mind. You got me. Because look, I believe it. I believe that they love being in space, but everybody has a bad day. And I think a bad day in space is an extra bad day. Let's say you wake up, and it's just one of those days. You wake up wrong side of the pod. You know, very upset. And all you want to do is brush your teeth and maybe go read a book or something. You know? But you take your eyes off your toothbrush for 1 second. Now all of a sudden you... grab the toothpaste. Oh. Or maybe, you know, you got your coworkers up there, Butch and Sonny, I'm sure they get along, but there's other people in the space station that can leave. And so I'm sure, you know, you have your disagreements with your coworkers. We all have it. We all have it. You want to storm off. It's very difficult in space. You want to storm off, but it just doesn't hit the same. Because when you storm off, you want everything to be perfect. You want to be loud as you storm off, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? You want the feet to be slamming. If you slam a door, you want it to really shake after it slams and everything. You don't get any of that in space. I remember one time I was trying to storm off. I felt like I was in the right, and I was done. I was really angry, and I tried to storm off. But I had a small hole in my shoe, and it had rained the day before. And so I was squeaking as I walked off. And that's a hard thing to come back from, because I had the storming off words ready. I was like, this discussion is over. So sure enough, you know, you want to storm off in space. Maybe your coworker's making you mad. And you've had enough of it. You've been up here for, 2 extra months or whatever. And you just want to go. So you're like, all right, that's how you feel. That's how you feel? All right, then you know what? You can finish the experiment yourself, because I'm out of here. I'm trying to leave. Well, I can empathize with where the astronauts are coming from, because I worked at a grocery store, right? And give me a second. That is wild. In the time I'm talking, I haven't built up enough trust that there's a point that I'm trying to... Y'all are rude. That's wild. Okay. Anyway. I used to work at a grocery store. And I worked at this grocery store, and one of the reasons I wanted the job and one of the reasons I got the job is because my apartment was only going to be 1 mile from my home store. So I could walk to work, and if I was late, could run, right? And then sure enough, when you get hired by this particular company, when you work for the company, you don't work just for that one store. You work for the district. And so what they can do is they can put you in different stores if they need to patch up. Maybe somebody quit and they need to patch up some shifts or something like that. And so when I first get hired, I'm willing to go wherever. And I'm only at my home store, but I'm taking up people's shifts. If anybody needs to switch with me or needs me to take their shift, I'm taking it if I can. I'm coming in every time they call me in because somebody called out. I'm actually coming in so much that I get a bunch of overtime, then they get mad at me and tell me to stop. But I was like, you called me. So I'm sorry I didn't self-snitch on the way in that this was hour 48 this week. Like, thought you needed help. And then one day, I get put on a different store, a store that's really far from my apartment. And it was because someone had quit abruptly, and so they needed someone there that week. So it was only supposed to be that week. And I get there. I had never been to this store before, but it's in a bad It is in a remarkably unfortunate, it is in a bad neighborhood, okay? And I don't mean bad neighborhoods in like they have crime sometimes. I'm talking about fundamentally everything about this place felt like the worst version of the Twilight Zone. This is the only place I've ever seen on 3 different occasions a rat walk out of the trap. And Tom and Jerry style, like really starting his day, yawning and everything, stretching his legs and stuff, going about his day. And it was one of the big industrial traps. I don't even know what's in those things, but it's supposed to kill rats. And that's where he was chilling. So these are grizzled veteran rats. And I go in the store first day, you know, I'm ringing people up and everything. And this one person comes to my line. She only had 1 item. I scan her protein bar. You know, she pays me, and as she's paying and she's putting the cash in my hand, she leans in a little bit, which was odd. That's not something that you normally do. And then when I'm handing her change, she says, "Thank you. There's a poop in aisle 5," and then walks out. And I'm sure she didn't do it. I'm sure she didn't do it. But the way she walked out so quickly, I was like, do you have something to do with this? And so it's not really my problem. I'm hoping she was just joking. And so I just keep ringing people up, right? I'm just continuing to ring people up. And then my manager comes over, and my manager is like, "Hey, Josh, we gonna switch you off a register and put you on the floor for a little bit. Because, you know, there's so many crazy things happening today. And so I'll go ahead and switch with you." And so then I had to count out my till and then go to the floor. Now, I'm still not electing myself to go to aisle 5, right? I went straight back to the back room to grab some chips that were out in front. And so I grabbed the box, and I'm opening the box and, you know, starting to stock the chips. And I hear a scream. And so I'm like, okay, it must be real. I just hear someone go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And so then I just keep stocking because I'm like, I don't want that to be part of my life, right? And then I get a tap on the shoulder, and it's my manager. She's like, "Hey, there's a whole like situation on aisle 5. If you don't mind checking it out real quick." And in my head, I'm like, I thought you were gonna be ringing people up. You just been trying to set me up this whole time, using some very convenient language. And so I walk over to aisle 5, and I see it, right? And the only thing on aisle 5, on the way to aisle 5, by the way, I passed 2 people who were running away from aisle 5. Like, fully bumped me out of the way. Just like, huh, huh, huh. You know, like when you're in a zombie movie and everybody's running in one direction, but you got the shotgun, so you got to head towards the zombies. And so then I turn the corner, I see it, and the only thing on aisle 5 is it and one guy. And that one guy is looking at it, and then he looks at me and goes, "I didn't do it." Didn't think you did, dog. Like, I understand you being just as shocked as I am. And so then I go to the back because I don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, this has been laid at my feet, and I don't feel prepared. And so I grab the broom and the dustpan and the kitty litter. And so that I go ahead and like scoop and litter and everything. And that was day 1. That was the first day that I worked at that store. The second day, this older lady walked up to me at the register. I started ringing her up and everything, and she was hitting on me hard. And she was hitting on me in the way that older people can hit on you because they're not saying anything vulgar, but they're being very vulgar at the same time. They're not using the words, but you can tell the intent is there. And so she walked up and she was like, "Hi, young man." And I was like, that's the wildest I've ever been called young man in my life, because she really hit that hard A with the man. It lasted forever. She's like, "How you doing, young man?" And I'm sitting there like, the name tag says Josh. Like it. And so I'm ringing her up and she's like, "What you doing later?" And I was like, work. I'm just ringing things up as fast as I can. And then she's like, "Can you bag it for me?" I was like, "Sure." So I'm putting it in the bag. She looks at me and she's like, "I like the way you do it." And I'm like, you can see what I'm saying. Like this is X-rated what she's doing to me right now. But it's all under the radar. It's all, if you try to call her out for this right now, she'd be like, "I'm not doing anything." But like, we can all hear it together right now. Like, "I like the way you do it." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks so much." Meanwhile, I'm just ringing up can after can of prunes. It's just nothing but prunes. It's like the store's worth of prunes. In my head, I'm like, there's no way she's gonna be able to carry all this. I put the last one in the bag. And she was like, "I'll see you when I come back." And I've never felt more undressed in my life. It was day 2. And day 3, I was ringing somebody up. My manager walks up and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, watch that guy over there. You know, turn your head, watch that guy." And she pointed to this dude and she was like, "Look, we forgot to mention this, but he does come in here periodically. And you just need to watch him because he will eventually start arguing with the cantaloupes." And I always try to be respectful of my bosses and stuff, but I did turn to her like, what am I supposed to do about that? Break it up? Like, what do you expect? Why you even tell me this information? We have a security guard, right? And so I'm bringing people up, and like 5 customers later, I hear in the distance,
"Don't talk to me like that."
And so immediately I turn my head to our security guard. Our security guard, all I see is his back foot walking out of the store. Because we always had security guards on hand because it's a bad neighborhood and everything, but at the same time, they were allowed to take their break whenever they wanted. So then I think he saw the cantaloupe argument breaking out. He was like, "That sounds like a great time to have a snack. I'm hearing a snack right now." And so then my manager comes over and she's like, "We should go say something." And so we walk over. And this dude's holding this cantaloupe and, you know, letting the cantaloupe have it. And he's like, "You always do this." And so I'm like, "Hey, sir, how you doing? Hello? Hi. And he's not listening to me at all because this is the point in the argument where he got his receipts ready. He's like, "No, because last time you said," he's like making all of his really good points and he doesn't want to be interrupted. Right? I was like, "Hey, could you just keep it down a little bit? You're scaring some of the other customers," right? And this guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. Which I could not have seen coming. This guy goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get loud. It just, you know how it is." I was like, yeah, no, I know. Yeah, cool. I'll go back to ringing people up, and then like several customers later, maybe 10 customers later, I see this dude in my line. And I start ringing up this one customer slow. Because I was like, maybe someone else will finish in time for him to get in another line. I do not want to have a conversation with this dude. And as I'm ringing them up, this guy's holding the cantaloupe, and he goes, "Don't start again! Don't start again!" And right as I look up, he's like, "You know what? We're through!" And he slammed the cantaloupe down. And I know he was arguing with a cantaloupe. But in that moment, I was like, oh! This dude storms out of the store and everything. And I gotta clean the cantaloupe up. And as I'm cleaning up, I'm like, I'm sorry he hurt you. And that was just 3 days working there. 3 days working there. And I was supposed to be there for a week. And they ended up having me there for 6 months. So when I tell you I can empathize what the astronauts are going through, like some of y'all should be glad because you didn't believe in me at all. Like some of y'all, as soon as I spoke, you're like, he thinks he's an astronaut. Because even if you love space, even if you love being up there and that's your happy place and everything, which I totally get, and I hope that that's the case. I'm sure if you went up there and they told you it was going to be 8 days, that you probably had plans. It was June of 2024. I'm sure you wanted to do something else before the end of the year besides float. I'm sure they would love to. I'm going to go out on limb and say it. Probably vote in person. That probably would have been great. And now they're up there. And I even saw an article that said that they had initially said it was going to be February of 2025 when they were able to get them down. They told them that in September. And then it got pushed a little bit more, so to like March of 2025. And then I just saw an article that said that there have been some developments, and they may actually be able to go up there and get them early. If it were me, I'd be like, don't say early around me. Don't say early around me at all. Because Butch and Sonny are up there, and they're going to be returning to a very different Earth. Which might be why they so cool with being left up there. That might be it. They're probably like, nah, I'm good. I'm chilling. Don't worry about me.